So this is a second part of the Eastern Cape. The Eastern Cape, where Mandela comes from. Mandela, remember Madiba, our legend. Okay, R here is the turning point. Here's the turning point, and then f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. That's a parabola, definitely. So P and Q are x-intercepts of f. Here is P and Q, the x-intercept. And then T is a straight line parallel to the y-axis. Okay, there's something about a straight line. If it's something that's parallel to the y-axis, it means that the value of x here, at T, is going to be the same as the value of x at V. We're going to have the same x value. Then you have the graph of G, which is a straight line, has an x-intercept at P. So we have a point of intersection here. It's also the x-intercept. And then S is the point of intersection of F and G. There's the intersection. Determine the coordinates of P. This is a straightforward question. 3 marks. X-intercept. Y is equal to 0. So G of x is equal to x plus 4. So 0 is equal to x plus 4. Therefore, x is going to be equal to -4. The coordinates of P is going to be -4 to 0. Second question. Hence or otherwise, write down the coordinates of Q. Okay, there's something that I want to explain. With the turning point of a parabola is the midpoint of the x-intercept. Don't forget that. I'm saying to you that x at turning point, this is for parabola, right? Or the quadratic equation, quadratic function, right? Something like that. Sure. This is equal to the x1 plus x2 all over 2. These things here are intercepts. Which means if you have a function like this, if this is the turning point, right? This is x1, this is x2. To find this, you need to use this formula to find the x value. Meaning again that the distance from the x-intercept to the midpoint is the same as this distance here. They are the same. Understand? So this is what I'm saying. If I have a function, let's say I have -3, then I have 4, right? For me to get the turning point, x at turning point, the coordinates is going to be -3 plus 4 all over 2, which is equal to half, right? So here it's a half. So I have 1 over 2. So the distance from half to 4, it's 3.5 units. Units. Also, the distance going to that way, it's going to be 3.5 units. Going back to the question, you have 6.2. The distance from the turning point, x value, it's -1, going to here. This is -4. So distance from -1 to -4 is 3 units. So this is also going to be 3 units this side. So the value that I have here, I just add 3 to get the coordinates of Q, the x coordinates, because I know that y is 0, right? So -1 plus 3 units gives me a +2. So my coordinates for Q is going to be a +2 and 0. Then I get to the third question. Calculate the average gradient between P and R. P and R. P and R. P and R. So P then R. Gradient of P and R is equal to YR minus YP all over XR minus XP, right? Avoid this thing, avoid making errors here. Were you saying YP? This is the same thing, right? It's the same thing. XP minus XR, right? Because if you can check something here, these correlate, right? Do not say YP minus YR, then you say XR now minus XP. There's no correlation. Don't do this. This is a common error. Now, this is going to help me with substitution. So I have YR. YR is 9. YP is a 0. All over XR is -1 and XP is a -4. Right? So that's 3 over 9, which gives me, okay, that's my answer. Now, getting to the next question. All right, so just make space here for yeah. Okay, so show that A is equal to -1, B is equal to -2, and C equals 8. Show all your workings. Here we have coordinates, right? We just want the formula now. I know with the parabola, y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. That's what I've been given, right? So what I do, I want to write all the formulas of a parabola. You need to know this. Equations. That's right, equations of a parabola. We have at least 3 known ones. So y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. And this is what we know. We also know that y is equal to x plus p all squared minus plus q, right? We know this one too. Y is equal to a x minus 1 x1 then x minus x2. Here are the parameters. This and this stands for intercepts. These are x-intercepts. Then here, this and this, right? They give you the turning point. So the turning point is going to be a different sign for P than that Q. Example, this is what I'm saying. If you have y is equal to negative x plus 4 all squared plus 3, you're gonna have the turning point being -4 is to 3. So be careful attention to the sign here. It was positive, but when it comes here, it's a negative. Good. So we're gonna use intercepts because we are given intercepts. We're gonna use the third one. So 6.5 we have 6.4. So y equal to a, then x minus x1, x minus x2, right? And then oh, I forgot something. Let me clarify. These here, right? This x and this x is the same. This is a point. This is a point. Can be any point, right? So getting here, I have a point. Here is a point. I have a point. I have intercepts too, right? So for me to find the value of a point, there's a point, which is the turning point. The value of y is 9. So this is 9 equal to, I don't know what is a. And then the x value, that's -1 minus -4. And then I have the same point, it's -1 minus 2, which is another x-intercept. So I have 9 being equal to, I'm going to have +3 here and -3, which gives me a -9. So divided by -9, divided by -9, the value of a is equal to a -1, right? So I found the value of a. So going back to the equation, y is equal to -1. Then x minus, we use the intercepts again, -4, then x minus 2. So when I break this down, I'm gonna have x plus 4, x minus 2, x squared plus 2x minus 8. So breaking that down, it's -x squared minus 2x plus 8. That is y. Therefore, I found the value of h, so -1, the value of b is here, and then the value of c. B is the coefficient of x, and c is the constant a. There's 8. B equals -2, then c equal to +8. Answer my question. Then calculate the coordinates of S, intersection of this coordinates. If there's a point of intersection, the point of intersection, you simply here it is. You simply substitute, you equate the two equations. So I'm going to equate, going to say f of x is equal to g of x. I know f of x is -x squared minus 2x plus 8. This is equal to x plus 4. Then I solve this. So I'm going to have -x squared minus 3x plus 4 equal to 0. Divide everything by -1. Then I'm going to have x squared minus, plus 3x minus 4 equal to 0. When I find the factors, it's x minus 4 minus 1, x plus 4 equal to 0. Then x is equal to 1, or x is equal to a -4. So we have two intersections at x is equal to 1 and at x is equal to -4. So when I look at this, where x is -4, that's point P. So it means that at point S, x is equal to -1. So I'm going to substitute 1, say g at 1 is equal to 1 plus 4, which gives me 5. So the coordinates of S is going to be 1 is to 5. And then now they want me to determine the maximum length of TV between point S, point P and S, point P and S, right? So TV, here is TV. I have T and then I have V there. So I'm going to say At T, I have F. Then at G, I have V. So it means that for TV, I must substitute, I must say G of X, no, uh, F at X minus G of X minus G at X. So I have negative X squared minus 2X plus 8 minus X plus 4, which gives me negative X squared minus 3X plus 4. So for me to get the maximum, when they talk about the maximum, always remember that they are talking about the turning point, because the turning point is where your graph reaches its maximum. It cannot be above this value here at the turning point. It's like when they ask you about the minimum. If they're asking you about the minimum, that's when you have a graph like that. There's the minimum. The graph cannot go below that. So the minimum is this turning point here. In this case, we are dealing with the max. Here's the max, right? So from this equation here, right? Oh, this one. Getting the turning point. Turning point is x equals to minus b over 2a. That's how you find the x coordinate for the turning point. Then for the y value, you substitute into the original. So I'm going to say x max, right? It's going to be equal to minus b over 2a. What is the value of b? Here it's negative 3. Negative 3. Then I have 2 into a, which is negative 1. So my answer is going to be, this is a positive, negative 3 over 2. That is my answer for the turning point, the x value, right? So for the distance, I'm going to say g. That is the x value. So g at negative 3 over 2 equal to negative 3 over 2 plus 4, which the answer is going to be okay, so it means that yeah, I cannot use the g of x because that's not the formula that I used to find the distance. Instead, I need to use the original, which is this one. So I'm going to say the distance for TV. Right. So I'm gonna have negative, the x value is what? Negative 3 over 2 all squared minus 3 into negative 3 over 2 plus 4. So this is what I have. That's something here and pull out this. Yes. So I have negative then negative 3 over 2 all squared minus 3. Then I have negative 3 over 2, then close the bracket, plus 4. So my answer is equal to 6.25. That's the maximum. Then getting to the last question. The last question is a bit unfair. Okay, let me just zoom in. Okay, the last question is based on interpretation. Okay, now I'm going to show you something. They say determine the values of x for which x multiplied by f of x is less than 0. What do they mean here? They're meaning that if I multiply x and the graph of f of x, right, this is the x-axis. If I multiply the x-axis with the graph of f, I must get a number that is negative. That's what I must get. So for me to get a negative, right, I need to multiply negative times a positive, or I can multiply a positive times a negative. This is what I'm saying. So I'm going to have x values here, right, x-axis. Then I have the graph of f here. So the graph of the x-axis is negative way on the left. I'm going to look on the left. Then the graph of f is positive way above, right? Where it's above. That's where it's positive. Or I need to look where x-axis is positive, it's on the right. And where f of x is negative, it's where it's below. Right? That's where it's negative. So I need to look at these. So I'll start with this. This will be number one. Left. Here's my left here. Here's my left. The critical point here is negative 4. So after negative 4, f is not above. So f is negative 4 just before negative 4, because here's f here, it's above till this point here. This point here, we've calculated it. We know that this is 8, because it's from y is equal to negative x squared plus, no, minus 2x plus 8, the equation of the graph. But the x value there is 0, because of its the y-intercept. So this graph is positive here from negative 4 to 0. That's where the graph is above from this point. That's the way it's above from this point till here. Because here it's a negative. You can see these are negatives from here. So my answer is going to be between negative 4 and 0. Now I need to look at this one now. The right side. So on the right side, then graph has to be below. So from here, it's still above. So from below, it's here. After 2, the graph is now below. So also, or x must be greater than 2. Because when it's less than 2, let's say it's 1 here. Let's say it's 1. Can you see that the graph is still above? And x is positive. So y is also positive. I won't get a negative answer. So it has to be this side. Because here, f is negative. From here, then x is positive.